Hey guys, what's up? So I'm here with a Blu-ray, VHS, and comic book collection update for you. Been a while since I did a VHS update or a comic book update. It's been almost a year, I think. I don't really buy many comic books anymore, but I still collect them and I still love them. But I will start with the three titles I have on Blu-ray, two separate Blu-rays. I'll start with the one I got a few days ago. I got this from the Horror Pack. They randomly sent me a free Blu-ray, which awesome. Kudos to you guys. Horror Pack kicks ass. I have the referral link in the description if you want to sign up. Very, very cool service. But they sent me a free Blu-ray of Hostel and Hostel 2, which I like both the Hostel movies. They're both on one disc, but I don't have a problem with that. It is a Blu-ray, and Blu-rays can hold a lot of space. I don't know if there's any special features or anything like that, but it's always cool to get free Blu-rays, especially if movies you didn't own up until this point. And I like the Hostel movies. Some people don't like them, but I personally enjoy them. And the other Blu-ray, which I got today, is a new one from Scream Factory. It is the House Massacre, which I heard about this movie about a year ago, and it's one of those. It's another one of those like horror films that you see in like a store, and as I really hope that this is good. But it's one of those horror films that you see and you see that they put a bunch of like horror icons in it. They got Clint Howard, they got Courtney Gaines, and of course they have Robert Englund in this, and they don't make it like co-starring or featuring. They just kind of put their names on it to make you, just like with Intruder right here. Just like with the movie Intruder, when they released it, they put Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi as stars in it, when in actuality Sam Raimi plays a kind of small role, although he just play a main character, and Bruce Campbell shows up at the end for like a minute. So, but it's one of those. I really hope that at least Clint Howard is in this a bit more than you know I expect him to be in it, because I know Clint Howard doesn't do much anymore, but he was. I really liked him in like The Ice Cream Man and Evil Speak. He was very, very good in Evil Speak. But this has to do with it's a Halloween-based film, but a bunch of notorious serial killers escape from an asylum and descend upon a giant funhouse, which is based upon there's sections of this giant kind of horror haunted house funhouse that are based on them as serial killers. And from what I've seen from the trailers, it's kind of like there's the famous serial killers, Gacy, Dahmer, Bundy, but of course, but then there are the ones that are like the ones you read about and you think it's a bunch of bunk, you think it's urban legend, or it's a story you tell around a campfire. But these guys are actually real, and they have like fun houses and stuff based on them, and then they get in there and they start killing people, and a bunch of college kids, as well as a local sheriff and a deputy, have to stop them. Have to stop these serial killers who are in this asylum. It's one of those Scream Factory releases that they did, and they just kind of picked a movie and just put it out there, because why the hell not? I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but it's one of those ones that they just kind of threw out there just to have another film in the catalog. Again, I don't have a problem with that. It's just like I would also really like to see more releases of older films and stuff. And this isn't even like an IFC midnight film, because they have a contract with IFC to release the midnight films, but this isn't even one of those. So they picked this up. I haven't seen this, so I just hope it's good. And on to the VHS. I got 5 of them. Starting from the top, we have the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, still mostly sealed in a plastic. I think this is original plastic. I don't know, but the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is one of the earliest horror films ever made, considered to be one of the first and one I really really enjoy. It's got a lot of really cool, creepy imagery and stuff, and it is a German expressionist film, which means it has like a really interesting, kind of cool, creepy, like set design and everything, and I really like it. Next, we got a Ed Wood film. I've actually only seen Plan 9 from Outer Space from Ed Wood, and I would watch this on VHS if it wasn't for the fact that my VCR doesn't work anymore. It broke. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm gonna have to probably get a new one. But Glen or Glenda, starring Ed Wood, directed by Ed Wood, and featuring Bela Lugosi. And it is one of the first films to deal with like being transgender, being a transvestite. It is interesting little movie. I've always heard about this one as like one of the worst movies ever made, and I hope it's interesting because it just looks weird. Next, no introduction needed. Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies of all time. I figured why not get it on VHS because it was like 10 tapes for like $1 and 5 for 50 cents, so I couldn't turn this down for a dime. I figured why the hell not get Pulp Fiction. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I should probably own it on more than just one format. Which and of course the animated classic. New one, it looks minty fresh too. Heavy Metal, based on the kind of comic book magazine of the same name. I really enjoy Heavy Metal, and it's got music from Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult, Cheap Trick, Devo, Grand Funk Railroad, Sammy Hagar, Journey, Nazareth, Stevie Nicks, Riggs, and Trust. I've always enjoyed Heavy Metal as a movie. It's a very, very interesting little kind of fantasy movie, and one that definitely has a pretty big cult following, but isn't. But the cult following isn't as big as I think it deserves. And last, but most certainly not least, wait a minute. What is this? This is some kind of weird sticker thing that was in the slip. I don't know. Nightbreed on VHS. This is the original theatrical cut of the movie that is like really short in comparison to the full feature length director's cut, which I have on Blu-ray. But again, Nightbreed is one of my favorite Clive Barker movies, so I figured why the hell not just get the VHS and have that in the old collection as well. Next, we have the comic books. Again, I'm not too big on comic books anymore, but I do enjoy collecting them still. I still pick them up every once in a while. And the guy was having a sale, 5 for $1, which wasn't bad. I got The Mask Strikes Back, which is the third like Mask comic book series. I enjoy what I've read of the Mask comic books. I really enjoy. I wish the movie with Jim Carrey, even though I like that movie, was a bit darker. But yeah, I got the first issue, the second issue. They did not have the third or the fourth issue, but they did have the fifth, so I figured why not get the fifth as well. Also, the Mortal Kombat comic book. I completely forgot that there was a comic book series based on this game. But the artwork looks, hey, Little Big League. The Death and the Return of Superman, the video game from Sunsoft Corporation. But I completely forgot that they made a comic book series out of Mortal Kombat, and this is the first issue. Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder. This is the first issue. It says first issue collector's item on it, which I'm sure it isn't that big of a collector's item. Maybe it is, but there's also an advertisement for Streets of Rage 3 on the back. And last, we have one here that I have almost no idea what to say about it. It's completely black and white, and it is a comic book of Elvira. I didn't know they made an Elvira comic book, but they made action figures. There's a TV series. She has a feature-length movie, so I guess it makes sense. I still haven't seen the Elvira Mistress of the Dark movie. I think I might watch that eventually. But the artwork is very, very good. And the cover artwork does feature Elvira. And she's beautiful, beautiful, as always, beautiful. But that's really it for this little update here. Like, fucking whatever. Anyway, guys, this is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews signing off. Peace.